Thanks for tuning in to Gear and Guitars with Mel. I am Mel. And today what we're going to do is we're going to do a little video on my Bugera V55 with the Infinium circuit, the vintage V55, new vintage. You know, it's a boutique style amplifier. It's, well, let's call it new boutique style amplifier, okay, because what you're getting an HRD, you know, a Hot Rod Deluxe style amp. You know, you got a single 12 inside of a decent sized cabinet. You know, 55 watts. You're running 3 12AX7s in the preamp. You got the two 6L6s in the power amp, and those 6L6s push it good. I tell you what, you know, you get some really great tones. You know, it's all tube, obviously, like I said. And what you have for a speaker in there is they are installing the turbo sounds. Now, you talk to your average guitar player, and they probably don't know much about turbo sound speakers, especially modern guitar players. But I find that when you talk to sound guys that have been around the block a few times, people that are used to setting up big venues and stuff like that, especially overseas, they tend to know a lot more about turbo sound. You know, when the big 80s rock hair bands and all that stuff were really kicking, you know, they were picking up where the later 70s arena rock bands, you know, were coming from. And in those arenas, all those walls of sound, you see all those 15s and 12s and 10 speakers and all those cabinets, those are more than not turbo sound setups. Great speaker company, British engineered, British made, good stuff. I like them a lot. They have a somewhere between a vintage and modern Celestian type sound. I would say they're closer to that than they are to any Eminence or anything like that. And they're good. I like them. It's got the Infinium tube life multiplier. What that is it monitors the performance of your output tubes. Okay, and what it'll do is it'll maintain them at an ideal operating level. Okay, and that way the load is being distributed evenly through those tubes. Okay, you also get little LED lights next to them to let you know when they're going to go out. You know, when it's time to change them out. You get about 20% more life on your tubes with that circuit, and it's pretty wicked. There's not much I can say about it that isn't good. I love all the sounds. I will say, we'll get to it demo-wise in a little bit, I will say that the drive channel, the gain channel as it were, it's good, but it's, as it is a vintage style amp, you're looking more at I would describe it more of a crunch. You know, it doesn't really get into a super deep saturated dirt. What you'll find is you go from a nice crunch, which I kind of displayed in the opening riff there a little bit, and then more into a fuzzy kind of distortion. You know, and you got to figure the V55 is modeled after your late 50s, you know, mid 60s style, you know, amp. Of course, you know, with the little upgrade, you know, it's a 2-channel, okay, 2-channel preamp, so you got your clean and you got your gain channel, and it's a classic 3-band EQ, you know, bass, mid, and treble, also with a little bit of presence in there. Also has a built-in reverb, which is a high integrated high definition reverb, which is pretty dang good. You're talking about an amp that weighs about 50 pounds. So, like I said, you know, in the range, in the class of a good Hot Rod Deluxe. And I tell you, you know, it's got the boost button on it, and you got your normal and bright. So let's go ahead and get that back on the amp there. So you got your normal input and your bright input. Okay, and what these are going to do for you is it makes it so you can tailor your sound a little bit better to match your guitar's tonal characteristics. You know what I mean? If you're playing something that, you know, it's got a little bit more glassiness to it, a little more strattiness. You know, that the normal channel is made to give you that. All right, it's gonna, you know, you're gonna hear all that. When you go into the bright channel, which I'm not gonna do because I don't play through the bright channel too much actually, because normally I'm using my pedal board, but for the sake of this video, I'm bypassing the pedal board. We'll just go ahead and rock and right into the amp. But the bright setting is good for when you want to plug in that Les Paul or that mahogany body humbucker having guitar that's going to, you know, bring a little more, I don't want to say mud, but a little more warmth and fat tone that maybe you want to get a little more articulated. And that's what the bright channel is going to bring you. So going across the interface here, alright, you got your clean, alright, your channel switch if you're not using a foot switch, which it does have. You got your gain, okay, obviously your 3-band EQ, and you got your boost switch in there, which gives you, if I'm being honest, I'm not sure what the decibel boost is, but I'm going to assume it's about 10 decibel boost up there to kick it up. Then you got your master volume, presence and reverb, standby and power. I tell you, again, it's a great amp. You know what I mean? It surprised me that I came across this amp. It surprised me that I started playing it. I was doing the Marshall thing for a long, long time, but what I found with this is that I get a clean that's so nice and crisp that takes pedals like a beast. You know what I mean? And the dirt, you know, the fuzz, which I'll play for you in a second. We'll kick the gain up on it. The fuzz is good. It pairs well with a boost pedal off my pedal board, you know, especially when I'm playing something more of a classic rock styling. It's a great amp. Do want to mention it also has the Pento triode switch. So generally a tube, you know, when you're running your average tube, it's a pentode. You know, there's 5 parts to it. What happens is when you flip it into triode, again, good for guitars like this that have a lot of high end to them, a little bit of slap or twang on them. When you go into the triode mode, what it does is it takes those 5 contact points, those 5 parts that you have in that tube, and it kind of does the job of connecting 2 in 2 spots, which doesn't actually do it. It's kind of like a coil split. You know, it gives you the idea of it running in a triode. Gets a little more thick in the dirt. Again, good for single coil guitars and stuff like that. Again, that being said, because I generally use a pedal board, I don't use that switch very much. When I first got it, before I had my pedal board completely put together, I used it a lot. Really good tones. A little bit muddy when you start getting into Les Pauls and stuff like that, but so let's go through some cleans here. Alright. Alright, we're going to give it a little bit of channel change, a little bit of dirt. We got the gain at about 4 right now. Should give us a decent crunch. Like I said, that's with the gain at about 4. Playing my slick guitars SL57, so it's those slick 65 pickups in there, vintage style single coils. And I think for the single coil pickups, you know, and it's my opinion, but the crunch sound works a little better. You start adding a lot of serious high gain, and it loses its articulation. Alright, and what I want to do, just for a sec here, is I want to swap out guitars. That way I can give you an idea of what it sounds like, you know, rolling through a couple of humbuckers. The problem that I'm going to have with that is I'm not sure what I have in tune right now, because I didn't think about that until just now. Alright, let's see here. We'll go with the Lewis custom guitar. That's right, it's mine. It's got my name on it. I'd say I designed it, but nobody really designed this style guitar, right? Alright, let's get her in tune. And just a heads up on this one here, generally, you know, I just got the slick. I haven't done a setup on it. Same with my Gem Junior. So when you see those videos, you know, you're seeing guitars that are tuned to standard. I don't generally tune to standard. Usually I'm at least a half step down, if not more. So you'll notice that this one's sitting a little lower than that. This one's half step down and dropped. But alright, let's see. Now you see, same setting, gain on 4. You see how much more the humbuckers push that channel. You can tell the articulation changes. Okay, what happens is it's not quite cutting through as much. You can hear the note, and it's more powerful. There's more volume, and that's obviously going to be more due to the fact that this is rolling with humbuckers. What I do have in the neck there, I can show you that one. In the neck there, I got a nice end whistle, and it's the HV58. That has been potted, actually, because it's an unpotted pickup normally. Great sound from that, especially when you're going clean. Unfortunately, I cannot divulge the pickup that's in the bridge. Let's just say I do some winding sometime, and I decided I wanted to wind one that was a beast. So I did. It's a nasty pickup. I love it. The case, actually, the cover came from a buddy of mine, Brendan, and had to throw that on there, keep the air of mystery up. So let's go ahead and get back to the dirt. except this time I'm going to go ahead and dime it out. So we got the gain all the way up there, and maybe we'll drop the volume down a little bit. So, you know, it gets fairly thicker, obviously, you know, when you start rolling with the humbuckers. This set of humbuckers in specific, you know, they're kind of made for that, to roll with that fuzzy. Not a lot I can say about this amp that isn't good, like I said before. All in all, well made and put together. The thing that I found, and one of the reasons I wanted to make this video, is that there's a lot of information on a lot of different amps out there, but for whatever reason, not a lot of info on this particular amp. And I'm not sure why. So, you know, I've seen, there's some stuff on the Bugera channel, a couple little blurbs real quick, but I haven't seen anybody really go through and just give tones and stuff like that, you know. But yeah, I haven't really seen anybody go through and give a good comprehensive bit of tones on it. And I decided I'll take up that mantle, you know, just let you guys kind of hear what it's working with. It's a great amp, you know what I mean? It's got killer tones, you know, at a price point that, again, you know me, I'm not about super expensive stuff, but you know, it's up there. You know, you're in the 500, half a G range, but it's worth it. So, that's my demo / review on my Bugera Vintage V55 with the Infinium circuit. You know, a lot of people are going to check out the videos on this channel and be like, man, this guy doesn't dislike anything. Everything he does a video on, he likes this, he likes that. It's kind of true. And I'll tell you why. Because I might go for things that are a bit less expensive. You know, I go for things that aren't going to break the bank. I have responsibilities and stuff. But that doesn't mean that just because I don't spend a lot, that I just buy crap. I don't. You know, the whole point, I think, for me, and I'm not sure whether I intended it, but it's working out, that this channel is kind of for me to show that I love my gear. I know I have knowledge base on, I'm a tech. I've worked for a major guitar distributor chain or what have you. You know, I've built plenty of guitars on my own, done a lot of custom jobs for other people. I know guitars, you know, and I think at first I wanted this channel to be kind of like, I don't know, every other review channel out there, but then it dawned on me a couple videos in that, you know, a lot of my stuff is not overly expensive, but I got great stuff. I think my gear is awesome. So I like to show that, you know, I have this gear that is legit, and it didn't break the bank for me to get it, you know, or when I have something that maybe wasn't 100% when I got it, it only took me a few bucks and a little bit of effort to get it there, you know what I mean? And I think that's kind of what the whole idea of this channel's morphed into is, man, you don't gotta drop $1 billion to have killer gear, to have gear that speaks to you, that speaks your art out for you, you know what I mean? And I'm going to take, I think, these opportunities to show what I've come across that's good gear out there that's, you know, you're bringing home for a song, you know, you're pun intended, that you're bringing home to rock out with, and you don't get home and go, oh man, what did I do? How did I spend that much money? We've all been in that spot, you know. I've done it in the past. I try not to do it now. And you know what? It doesn't hurt to have what might be killer gear for you, that if, God forbid, Goddess forbid, Allah, what have you, if you had to replace it, it doesn't hurt that if you had to replace your gear, you don't have to break the bank, you know, that it could be done. Thanks for tuning in to Gear and Guitars with Mel. Again, I'm Mel. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Comment if there's anything you think you'd like to see me do a video on. I'm game. Let me know. Alright? Thanks, guys. Have a good one.